You're watching View to a Grill, and today I let Lowe's put together my Weber Searwood 600 XL. I'm Johnny. My purchase included the Weber Searwood 600 XL and the Weber Searwood 600 XL cover. Something that Lowe's does that I think is awesome is that they give military veterans a discount. All you have to do is register on their website, and every time you make a purchase through their website, you'll be able to see how much money you save per purchase, just like you see here. To get your free assembly, go to Lowe's, select whatever grill you want assembled. Be sure to select free assembly, and then just pay for your item. When it's ready to be picked up, go over to Lowe's, pull into one of the curbside lanes and check in. Once you've checked in, a guy like this will show up, and then he'll load it up into the back of your truck. Once you get home, tell your kid to get out of bed and drag your grill to the backyard, and you're done. Now that we have the Weber Searwood 600 XL in our backyard, let's inspect the work Lowe's performed, starting with the interior. Inside, you'll find the thermometers, the power cord, the scraper tool, and the owner's manual. We want to make sure they put in our top grate, which they did, and it stores conveniently in the back on these hooks. Here are the bottom grates, and they come in 3 pieces. Now the flavorizer bar is in. One thing I am noticing is that there are no smudges, so they must have used gloves when they assembled the item. Now we have the heat diffuser, and it's looking like it should. Next we have the heat deflector. And we also have the drip pan, and the drip pan assembly. All of it looks good. Now we can take a look inside the cook box. Looks nice and clean. It won't be this way for long. Here's the auger housing. Here's what we're looking like inside the lid. Now, after looking at the lid, I did notice my first problem. Take a look at this. You see the cotter pin on this lid pin mount? Well, it's installed perfectly on the right side. If we take a look at the left side, there is no cotter pin. And that's pretty bad because it holds this mounting pin in place so that the lid won't fall off. We'll address that later. So moving on to the static thermometer. And then on the sides, you have these little side liners. Here is the inside of the fire pot. Everything looks as it should. Now that we've inspected the inside, let's take a look at the pellet hopper. Between the pellet hopper and the cooking chamber, you have a heat shield. Now here are the hinges on the lid. Looks like the pellet release is working as it should. So we'll just get that closed up. And now let's take a look at the exterior of the Weber Searwood 600. Here's the lid handle, and it looks like it's been installed correctly. The second shelf hangers are not bent, and they are working as they should. Now on the back of the lid you have a gap, and this is there on purpose. It's so that you can get some circulation inside the grill. Now I'll just take my Allen wrench around just to make sure that they're all nice and snug. They shouldn't be overly tight. They should just be hand tight. Now I did find 2 or 3 that needed a little adjustment. And I did find this kind of hidden behind the wheel where they stripped this one out because you can see it's not seated fully. And it looks like they may have tried to back it out but was unable to. I then went around with my Phillips head because there were some Phillips head screws in, and just made sure they were tight as well. And there were also a few places that needed a flathead screwdriver, and those were all tightened appropriately. So all the screws are tight. Now let's see if it works by performing a burn off. All I had to do was install the plug and plug it in. Once you plug it in, it immediately turns on and gives you this error, E21, and all that means is that your fuel is low. Once you get some pellets into the hopper, the error should go away. And right here is our fuel gauge. This shouldn't take long, so I only put a few pellets in. I'm going to go ahead and open the lid and get the top grate in so that we can season that along with everything else. On the inside, I'll spray every surface with some oil. And I want to say I absolutely love this Flairosol oil sprayer. There's a link below. Now I'll set the ambient temperature to 375 degrees, and then about 5 minutes later I can hear the pellets falling into the fire pot, and then soon after that you'll be able to see some smoke right over the grates of your grill. Close the lid and let that run for about 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes later, I'll go ahead and close the lid and let that run for about 15 minutes, and then I'll crank up the temperature to about 400 degrees for another 10 or 15 minutes. When I was done, this is what the inside of my grill looked like. Now I'll just put it in shutdown mode and let the Searwood 600 cool off. A few other items I purchased was the rotisserie and cover. Now the rotisserie, I actually had to purchase that from Weber because Lowe's was out of stock. It just has this mount that you fasten with 2 bolts, no problem at all, and then the motor just kind of slides right in. The rotisserie spit is all one piece, and it's actually pretty long, and it just slides right into this receiving hole, and then it's kind of supported on this U-shaped gap right on the Weber cooking chamber, and that is on both sides. I'm one of those guys that has everything in his garage, and I happen to have a set of cotter pins. I grabbed one, slid it right into that mounting pin, and that was fixed. And then here's what the Searwood looks like with the cover on. Now that we've inspected the Searwood 600 assembled by Lowe's, here's my question. Would you let Lowe's assemble your Weber Searwood 600? Now they did have what I think would have been a catastrophic assembly failure. That cotter pin. They had it on one side, but not on the other. So you can see when you're opening your lid and you get that thing all the way to the back, if that pin came out, it would have just came loose. The lid would have fallen on this side, and then all you have is this holding it together. Cast aluminum. The area around it may have snapped. I don't know. You tell me what you think. There was also this stripped bolt that was behind the wheel, and really it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I could have done that when I was assembling it. And then finally, I did have to tighten up a few of the bolts. Now the thing you're going to do different than me is you're going to inspect your grill before you leave Lowe's. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.